This is called familiar spirits. This is what you need to know. Demons fight so hard for you not to change. In this video, I'm going to help you understand the concept of negative thinking. This is what demons thrive on. I also want to give you a story that relates to what I'm going to talk about and give you a better understanding of what's happening here. Some people call it fighting your demons, but fighting your demons have a few concepts you need to think about. Sometimes these demons may not be yours. They just try to be assigned to you, you know? There's two concepts. You have a psychological point of view, and then you have the spiritual point of view. The demons don't want you to know the spiritual side of this fighting demon concept. They want you to think it's all in your mind and your brain. So we're going to start with the psychological demons, right? So some of that ingrains into like bad habits that are deep rooted, negative thoughts, and deep rooted fear. When people don't want to do something because they're so scared, that is a negative thought. That's a psychological demon that's bothering. And for these thoughts, it can make you want to change. It can make like resistance so bad and so hard, you'll feel like you're fighting with yourself, and that's when you become depressed. And the reason that there's so much resistance is because of the comfort and the familiarity with the patterns that you have already ingrained. When I say patterns, I'm talking about your day-to-day. You get up, you don't pray, you smoking, you drinking, you cussing like a sailor, you treating people bad, you have negative thoughts, the gossiping. Those habits that you do every day, the negative thoughts is what keep the demons empowered. So speaking of the comfort and the familiarity, even negative patterns can feel like a safe place because it's something that you're familiar with. You know this, you know the outcome, you know what to expect, and you're not trusting God, which is a bad thing. Jesus had to die and go to hell and to trust that God will bring him back. You know how, even though his faith was strong, he still had to trust God will raise him from the dead. And when you have a positive mindset, right? Your positive mindset will go into positive patterns. And that change will disrupt those patterns, which will create uncertainty. So my phone just glitched. Which goes into my second point. Fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown. Change implies stepping into uncharted territories, which you have no control over. You really have to walk into it trusting God that everything will be okay. And then this, my friend, it creates anxiety. But Jesus says, cast all your cares on me, for, he cares for us, You really have to believe what you read in order for you to get through this life. Essentially, these demons psychologically are a part of our lives that are resistant for us to grow. And being familiar with what we already know can make us stagnant, and it puts you in depression mode. And when I speak of psychological, it sits in your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, because this is something you know how to do without being told what to do. And mind you, it's really easy to pick up negative patterns and negative habits, and also be okay with it. Like some people just are okay with it, and you just have to snap out of it. So let's get into the spiritual side. This is the spiritual demon. This is where he don't want you to come to, because he wants you to think that it's coming from you. Most of these thoughts are provoked by Satan. And we also have familiar spirits, which follows the family. When they call them familiar spirits, that means that demon's been with your family, but you have to be the one to break the curse. All right, so the spiritual demon is a dark and evil force sent by Satan that seeks to maintain the status quo, the power over your life, babe. And what is this called? The preservation of power. Demons thrive on stagnation and control that changes or threatens their power. They don't like that. I meant to say controlled change threatens their power, which they are opposed to. Speaking of opposition to growth, change involves moving towards positive transformations, which demons are not. They're not okay with that, okay? This is a good one. This was overall, somebody who needs a good explanation. Here's an explanation for you to understand what's happening here. It says, in a video game, demons are programmed to fight the player. So there is no other reason for them to fight other than that is their programmed role. So that when you're playing a video game, there are people out to get you. And you understand that in the spiritual world, that there are demons out and sent out to get you. Once you understand that, prayer will become a daily thing. Prayer will be your number one weapon, and you will always keep that in top. I'm talking about it'll come to you like second nature, because you'll understand the spiritual world, because it's more realer than the natural world of what we see, and it also controls the natural world. So anyways, I just gave you guys some pointers on fighting your demons. This is something you should really consider, because when Jesus walked in that city and he cast that demon out that man, and they told him, the people was okay with the man sitting there being crazy and out of his mind, full of demons. But as soon as Jesus cast that demon out that guy, and he was sitting at Jesus' feet, and they were like, hey, well, what happened to the guy? And when Jesus cleaned him, they told Jesus he needed to leave the town. Like, people are okay with you staying where you are. But it can't be like that. Like, ask God for help and he will come through. But we're not fighting demons. We're casting out demons this year, okay? 2025, we are casting out demons. God bless you all, and I hope you got something from this.